I've literally been tracking my sleep for the past 1600 nights, which is 4.5 years. So I have a little experience with what makes your sleep better. First thing you need to understand is that it doesn't really matter what time you go to sleep at. You can go to sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at 10, or go to sleep at 9 a.m. and wake up at 5 or 6. It doesn't matter what time you sleep. Only thing that matters is how consistently you're sleeping at that time. So as long as you're sleeping around the same time and waking up around the same time, any time is good. If you sleep and wake up early but you're not consistent with it, that's worse than sleeping late, waking up late, but being consistent with it. Okay, now I will go over some things that will make your sleep better. And then in the end, I will talk about what to do if you want to change what time you go to sleep and wake up, and also whether you should track your sleep every night or not. The first thing is morning sunlight. It doesn't sound as important as it is. All you need to do is when you wake up, if the sun is out by then, if you wake up before that, then it's fine. But when you wake up, and if the sun is out, then just go outside or to your balcony and just stare in the direction of the sun just for a few minutes. Normal glasses is fine, but sunglasses don't work. So obviously don't wear sunglasses, don't be an idiot. And you don't need to stare directly at the sun, but just even in the direction of the sun is fine. Like the sun is really bright and that's all that matters. It just like sets your circadian rhythm. You don't need to worry about it, but just go out in the sun just as soon as you wake up if you can. Second thing is, ideally you want the room to be as dark as possible. Like even if you put the blinds down, there might be like some light that comes through, and most people are fine sleeping like that, but I think it's better if your room is pitch black. And if there is some light coming through, just like get a sleep mask and wear that to like completely black it out. It might be weird if you're used to sleeping with some light, but you'll get used to it and it will make your sleep better. Third is earplugs. Just get these like cheap, like few dollar earplugs. These are just silicone ones and they like squish into your ears and then expand, and trust me, they are a life changer. Especially if you sleep and you have a fucking noisy environment, then it is so much better to put your earplugs in so that you completely block out all the noise. And otherwise, if you have AirPods, just put your AirPods in, turn on the noise cancelling, and I'll actually show you exactly what to do. So on your iPhones, you can add this widget, ambient sound. If you just go on add widgets and ambient sound, then you can add this and then just click on the sleep one, put your AirPods in. If they're not uncomfortable for you, then AirPods or any earbuds are good and they will completely block out the noise. In my experience, they work even better than like those silicone earplugs. So if you don't mind having like earbuds in when you go to sleep, then try these. They will help a lot. And just set like a sleep timer for like maybe half an hour. You go to sleep and then afterwards it turns off by itself. Okay, this next point is really good. I'm actually going to put you guys on. So when you wake up in the morning, it's not natural to wake up with your alarm. If you wake up with like a buzzing sound, that's not natural for your body, and it like puts it in flight or whatever the like scientific reason is. But here's how you can fix that. I get that if you need to be awake at a certain time, you need to set an alarm, right? You can't just be like, the ideal, like the best case scenario would be that you wake up naturally by yourself, right? But you can't always do that. So here's what you do. I use this app. It's called Sleep Cycle. It's for free. Like it has a premium version, but you don't need to pay for it. And you can use it to track your sleep as well. I usually just use my Apple Watch, but the best feature of this app is something called a smart alarm. So what it does is, you give it a half an hour window. So let's say you have to wake up at 8, right? You just give it like 7:30 to 8. And what it does is, when you're sleeping, it waits for when your sleep is weak. Like if you're moving and stuff, it tells it that you're not in deep sleep right now, right? So when you're in the weakest cycle of your sleep, that's when the alarm goes off. And it's not like a loud alarm either. I've been using this for like years now, and in my experience, this is the best alarm you can use. It doesn't wake you up at a certain time, but it waits for the best time in that half an hour window to wake you up, and it's a way more natural wake up than like a normal alarm would. So definitely try it out. I don't know if there are any other apps, but this is the one I've been using for the longest time and it works perfectly. You will have to, however, put your phone like on your bed when you sleep, but I don't see why that's a problem. Or if you have an Apple Watch or like a different watch, then it should work with that and it's easier. But your phone is good too. Next point is caffeine. Depending on how resistant you are to caffeine, caffeine can fuck your sleep up, or like it won't affect you at all. So you need to kind of experiment with this. But in general, even if you're resistant to caffeine, you don't really want to have any caffeine. Like, honestly, I'd say even 12 hours before you go to sleep. If you're going to have caffeine, drink it in the morning. And then if you're going gym in the evening or something, then I just usually have pre-workout that's stim free so that it doesn't fuck up my sleep. And also, this is a pro tip. Wait 90 minutes before having caffeine in the morning, because essentially, like, in the morning, your cortisol is rising to help you feel awake. And if you don't let it fully rise, then you have a crash in the afternoon. So just when you wake up, from the time you woke up, wait 90 minutes, then have your caffeine, and ideally stop taking caffeine at least like 8 to 10 hours before you have to go to sleep. I know fucking everyone's addicted to caffeine now, and it's fine. I drink caffeine too, but just don't have it too late, because it will actually affect your sleep. And when you stop doing it, you'll actually realize, wait, this is why I've been awake so late. This is the reason. Just try it. You'll start falling asleep way earlier than you usually do. Next point is phone before bed. Now, honestly, I'm on every device you can imagine before I go to bed. Everyone says that, oh, you should stop looking at your phone like 2 hours before bed. But in my experience, it doesn't really matter. The main thing you need to worry about is like what you're doing on the device. The thing that will actually bother your sleep is not that you're on the device, but if you're doing something that will make you overthink, and just like when you're in bed, if you keep thinking about some bullshit, that's what will prevent you from going to sleep. So as long as you're not watching something that's triggering or will linger in your mind while you're trying to sleep, I think it's fine, but you gotta experiment with it. Maybe try turning your phone off. You might sleep better. But one thing I will recommend though is that you turn on night shift on your phone. I think it is a little effective because it like blocks the blue light or whatever, but it's really easy. Might as well turn it on. Just go on your phone. I think you go on display and brightness and just turn on night shift. And depending on what time you sleep, just a few hours before bed, make it so that your screen goes warm, and just leave it. It turns on by itself. It's a good to have, so might as well do it. Okay, now here's what you need to do if you want to start sleeping early. Again, it doesn't matter, but for whatever reason, if you want to start waking up earlier or start sleeping earlier, this is how you actually do it. First of all, do the caffeine thing. So make sure you're not having any caffeine later in the afternoon or evening so that it doesn't fuck with your sleep. Second of all, you need to be sleep deprived for like 2 nights. It's something you're gonna have to do. So let's say you wanna start waking up at like 6 a.m., 6, 7, 6. And for that, you wanna start sleeping at 10 or 9. So here's what you do. First night, if you're used to sleeping at like 11 or midnight or 1, you're not gonna fall asleep at 9. No matter how hard you try. What you need to do is take the L, wake up at 6 anyways. You're going to be sleep deprived, but what usually happens is next night you'll probably get sleepy a bit earlier because you were sleep deprived and because you woke up early. So you might fall asleep at like 10 or 11, and then you do it for another night. Even if you fell asleep at 11, you wake up at 6 again, which is not even bad, but you wake up at 6 again, and you do this 2 or 3 nights. And as long as you do the other things right, you should start feeling sleepy from the 3rd night. Now, again, just try to be as consistent with it as possible because your body likes a routine. Yeah, it's fine. Sometimes you may sleep even an hour late, but try to keep it as close to the time you usually sleep at as possible. And if you had an event or you went out or you were doing something, just take the L that night and just be sleep deprived. It's better than like waking up late and messing up your whole routine again. Just take the L, wake up early anyways, and then try be consistent with it. But if you're always going to be late to bed, like every other day you're going out and you're going to be late, then just set your bedtime to be at a later time. Then it's going to be really hard for you to like be sleep deprived every night, So just set a later time, wake up later, but be consistent with that then. Just pick like a realistic time that you think you can go to sleep on most days and stick with that. Okay, final point. Should you track your sleep or not? I would say for most people, yes. If you have like any smartwatch or like a Whoop band or whatever, then you're probably already tracking your sleep. I think a lot of people don't like wearing a watch to sleep, but it's not that uncomfortable. First few nights, yeah, you might feel it, but after that, I don't feel my watch at all. I wear it to sleep every night. And it's not that deep. If you have a smartwatch, might as well start tracking your sleep. The only time I'd actually say you shouldn't track your sleep is if you're like a super overthinking type that you're gonna like start looking at your stats every morning. And if you know looking at them will actually affect your day worse. Like if you had a bad night of sleep and if you're gonna keep thinking about it and your day is gonna go worse because of it, then probably don't track your sleep. Just try to sleep as good as you can. But for most people, if you're not gonna become super obsessive and it's just going to provide good insights into your sleep, then you should start tracking your sleep. Like I had a few weeks where I kept waking up in the middle of the night, and it was like the type of wake up where you don't properly wake up, but you're like half asleep, half awake. So that really messes your sleep. And it's bad because when you wake up in the morning, most of the time you can't even tell that you were like half awake, half of the night. So I only found out because my watch told me that, oh, my sleep has been super interrupted. And it kind of went away by itself a few weeks later. I never figured out why. But I think for most people, if you have an Apple Watch or any smart watch or a band, just start tracking your sleep. Otherwise, if you don't have like a fitness tracker, if you just use that app on your phone, put your phone like next to your bed, even that is like all right at tracking. It's not going to be as accurate as like a watch on your hand would be, or like a fitness tracker would be. But if you haven't tracked your sleep at all, ever, it might still be good for you and provide good insights in your sleep. Let me know if any of this was helpful, and thank you for watching.